How's it going, everybody? My name is Ray Rodriguez. I'm a real estate agent and a real estate investor out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm also a student in the Future Flipper All-Star Coaching Program, where I've learned everything that I know about real estate investing, and now I'm making videos online to share some of those things with you as well. A little bit of background on myself as a real estate investor. I'm 22 years old, and a couple weeks ago at the Future Flipper quarterly meetup, I got an award from Ryan Pineda himself for doing 26 deals in the last 6 months. Those deals includes fix and flips, wholesales, a buy and hold that I bought, and I'm actually under contract to buy another rental property in the next couple of days. Well, technically it'll be my first rental property because the buy and hold that I did buy, I'm actually living in it with my family. So I guess it's just gonna be the first rental property that I'll be buying in the next couple of days. So the reason I share that with you guys is to share that I actually have a little bit of credibility when it comes to real estate investing. So when I'm sharing with you how I calculate my numbers and how I come up with my offers, just know that there is some validity behind everything that I'm saying. I'm not just a total knucklehead, right? Still a bit of a knucklehead, but not a complete one when it comes to this real estate stuff. I am going to share with you the exact same information that I take into account when I'm underwriting a deal, when I'm analyzing how much I should offer or shouldn't offer on a property. And on top of that, I'm gonna share with you the exact calculator that I use, and I'll give it to you completely for free. All you have to do is send me a DM on Instagram, send me your email, and I will email it to you. I know a lot of gurus charge hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands of dollars just to have access to their calculator. Well, I'll just give you mine for free. Actually, I'm just gonna charge a smash of the like button. You can tell I've been watching Graham Stephan's videos, right? So please give the video a thumbs up, and without any further ado whatsoever, let's come over to my computer here at my little office, and I will show you guys exactly how to figure out what is the most that you can offer on a property. All right, so now we are here in front of my computer in my office that I just moved into roughly a week ago or so. That's beside the point. I'm just excited that, hey, I finally have an office. Anyway, let me go ahead and share with you absolutely everything that you need to know when it comes to using this calculator so that you can finally figure out how much you can offer on a property, whether you want to flip it, you want to wholesale it, you want to keep it as a rental. Actually, this calculator isn't the best for rental purposes, but this is just mainly for flipping and for wholesaling. If you want me to make a video on rentals, go ahead and drop a comment down below, and I'll go ahead and take care of that for us. Alrighty, so let's start off from the very beginning. How do you use this calculator, and what is the first thing that you need to do once you receive this calculator from me in your email? So the first thing that you're going to do is give this video a thumbs up. Okay, I really need to stop with that. You know, I feel like I'm Graham Stephan at this point. So, I mean, do give the video a thumbs up, but I promise I won't be obnoxious about it, you know, the rest of this video. So anyway, the first thing you need to do is you're actually going to be playing with the numbers that are in the blue boxes, okay? Only the ones in the blue boxes for the time being. And this is actually something that you only have to do once, and it is when I first send you this calculator. I'll explain absolutely everything and why this is what we're doing. So the first thing we're doing is we are playing with the numbers in blue. Now, the first thing in blue is the sales commission. This is how much is going to be paid to the buyer's agent once you have finally renovated the property and you put it on the market for sale. So I pay the buyer's agent 3%, but maybe that's not what you're paying. Maybe you're paying 2.5% or 2%. You're kind of cheap if that's what you're paying, but you know, whatever works, right? Anyway, so if it's 3%, you can just leave it as is. But if you want to make any changes, just double tap that number and change it to whatever it is you're paying your buyer's agent. Next, we have the listing commissions. This is what you're going to be paying the listing agent. For me, I have a flat fee of $1,500. I am a licensed realtor. I could just list the property myself, but I have an agent who does it for me, and I give him volume. He does a great job for me or for anyone I partner up with, and we pay him a flat fee of $1,500. If you're a licensee and you want to list your own flip, then you can put 0 for that. Or if you're paying a realtor 3%, you can put 3% in there. It is all very customizable for you and your particular situation. Next, we have the closing cost. Now, this is something I want to, dive a little bit deeper into. So please pay attention to this part. Well, hopefully you're paying attention to the whole thing, but just pay attention to this part in particular. So, closing costs. I have 1%, but if you realize down here, there are a couple different calculators. I am on the MLS calculator right now. The direct to seller calculator looks the exact same. My luxury flip calculator looks the exact same. The only differences are little minutia like the closing costs. And here's what I want to articulate to you all. When you're buying a deal off of the MLS, typically each party pays their own closing costs, right? So it's usually, at least here in Southern Nevada, roughly 1% of the sales price on each side. So if I'm buying a deal off of the MLS, I am paying my closing costs, which is roughly 1%. However, here's the part that I want you to pay attention to. If you are doing a lot of direct to seller, probably you are most likely paying your seller's closing costs as well. So when I'm doing direct to seller, I click on my direct to seller calculator, which you can see it says 2% for the closing costs. You might be thinking 1% may not be a lot of money, but let's say you're buying a house for 300 grand. That is 3 grand that you were not accounting for. So really, I just like to be as detailed as possible, especially when it comes to investing. You just want to be safe with your money. So that's what I wanted to talk about when it comes to closing costs. Just make sure you are calculating your numbers correctly when you are analyzing a deal. Now back to my MLS calculator. The next thing you want to look at is utilities, taxes, and insurance. For this one, you don't actually have to click anything because this number is going to auto calculate once you've filled out some of these other tabs that I will talk about in a minute. And the way it auto calculates is with this formula that I have in here. If you want to tweak that formula for your market, you can, but from my own experience and from talking to a lot of people in different markets, this formula is going to work pretty well for you. If you're really, meticulous or whatever and you want to change it, then go ahead. But 99% of people I know who use this calculator end up using the exact same formula anyway. So, the more you know, right? Cool. Next thing, we have loan amount. You don't need to play with that. Don't worry about it. Interest rate. You do need to worry about that because you need to punch in there whatever interest rate you are getting from your lender. Whether that be a hard money lender, a private money lender, make sure you account for that accordingly. If your interest rate is 8%, change it to 8. If it's 12%, change it to 12. Same thing here for points. Pretty self-explanatory. If your hard money lender charges you 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, make sure you account for that as well. And that is actually all that you have to play with as far as the blue goes. Everything else, honestly, I don't really look at too much. And right now, I'm actually gonna explain what I do look at and what I recommend you look at as well. So again, just as a quick recap, the stuff in blue that we just discussed, you only mess with those numbers when I first email you the calculator. You don't need to be changing these numbers every time because what is there to really change? I mean, your sales commission will always be 3%. You get what I'm saying, right? So now let's talk about the numbers that you do change. And these are going to be all of the numbers in orange, right? So I change these numbers at least 20 times a day. I'm always playing with these numbers whenever I am looking at a new deal. The first number is our ARV. So let's say we're looking at a property and we have a $400,000 ARV. We're gonna put 400 grand in that box. All right, now we have our rehab costs. Let's just leave it at 50,000, all right? Estimated HOA. Now, I don't really mess with that one too much because in Las Vegas, where I live, most of the HOAs for single family homes are going to be roughly 20 to 50 bucks a month. So let's say I'm holding onto a property for 4 months, 1 to 200 bucks is not really going to make any difference in my profit. So I don't really mess with that. But if you live in a place where, you know, the HOA can be drastic, then yeah, play with that number every single time. Just letting you know what I do, and you can go from there. So I don't really mess with HOA. But let's talk about a number that you absolutely cannot neglect, which is your hold time. Now, I know when we were talking about closing costs, I said to pay close attention. Well, for the holding time, pay so much attention that, like, if you have a kid who needs you right now, you know, tell him to go ask the other parent. Or, you know, or maybe you're a single parent, then just tell him or her to come watch this video with you, right? So, hold time. What this means is how long you are going to be the owner of that property. So from the day you buy it to the day you sell it, how many months is that going to take? Like I was saying, it's better to overestimate how long it's going to take you than to underestimate, and here's why. So based on these numbers that I currently have, the calculator is telling me that if I own this property for 4 months, I'm gonna pay $11,667 in money cost, right? That's not my total money cost, that is just for this one particular category. Let's say it takes me 6 months, however. That is an extra $6,000 that I had not accounted for. So let's say this deal was already a pretty thin deal to begin with. Now you're gonna make $6,000 less because you did not properly account for your hold time. Now you might be wondering, how long should I account for when it comes to hold time? Well, me personally, I normally account for 4 months if it's a pretty simple fix and flip, whether it be a little condo or a pretty cosmetic fixer on a house or a townhouse. I say 4 months is pretty safe, but if you're just starting out and it's your first flip, I would put 6 months just to be extremely safe. You've never done this before, the market has shifted, so I would put a minimum of 6 months if you are brand new to this and you're not too sure what you're doing just yet. So the last number that I play with is my purchase price, $300,000. All right, let's take a look at what this calculator is telling me right now. One thing that I do want to point out is this max offer here, I ignore it. Reason being, I don't care what this calculator tells me as far as what my max offer is. I care as to how I interpret the data, and here's why. So let's just say we're gonna listen to this calculator and it tells me that my max offer is $281,000. If I punch in 281, if I punch in $281,000, my projected profit is $33,000. I personally don't want to make only $33,000 on a house with a $50,000 renovation budget with a $400,000 ARV. Ideally, I want to be making whatever I'm putting into it. I want to see that number down here as well. So for instance, if my rehab is going to be $50,000, I want to make around $50,000 on my flip as well. So even though this thing is telling me that the max offer is $280, I really want to be somewhere closer to $260. $260, $265, you know, would I take it at $270? Make 44, 45,000. Sure, depends, you know, it depends, right? But the reason I'm sharing this with you is to tell you, come to your own conclusion based on the numbers that you're seeing. Just because the calculator tells you max offer 282, I would not buy this house for 282. Someone probably would, and I guarantee you I could wholesale it for 282, but me personally, I'm not buying that. And you shouldn't be letting this calculator tell you what number to buy at. You should be using the calculator as a tool and then coming to your own conclusion. So 270, for instance, in this case, is my absolute max offer. I wouldn't even go to 275. Like, that is too much for me at that point. So I hope that part makes sense. Let's run some hypothetical numbers here and see what we can offer, and you know, let's just play with these numbers. I'll give you an example. So let's say we have a purchase price of $300,000. 300,000 purchase price. Let's say we have an ARV of 400,000 and it's a pretty quick fix, pretty quick fix and flip. Let's call it a $30,000 rehab. I'm mad at myself now. There we go. $30,000 rehab, right? Would I buy this? Maybe if it's a really quick, if it's a really cosmetic fix, but ideally I'd probably want to be closer to 290. I'd buy that all day. I'm making 44,000 on a $400,000 ARV. I like to make 10% of ARV. So that is how I personally look at this calculator. Again, the numbers that you really need to play with: ARV, rehab costs, hold time, purchase price, and that'll tell you what your projected profit is. Again, if I thought this property was gonna take me longer, then I'd put 6 or 7 months in there, and then I would probably have to be somewhere closer to 280. Right? So it's all just a give and take when you're using this calculator. I really hope I did a decent job at the very least of explaining to you how to use this calculator. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can either shoot me a DM on Instagram or leave a comment down below. I'll do my absolute best to get back to you. And I most likely will get back to you, but just saying. So shoot me a DM. If you want me to send you this calculator, I will 100% send it to you for free. I'm not gonna be one of these guys who's like, oh, $2,000 for this calculator. Even though someone offered me $1,000 for it once, I was like, dude, just go use that money for marketing. Here's my calculator for free. Just consider it a blessing, right? So I don't want any money for this. Really, I just want to provide value any way that I can. If you have any questions, shoot them over my way. Please give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. I'm out of here.